Alright, we're going to be watching Takkamuumi, who's been playing Junkrat on Rialto. This is his gold 3. Junk main, hard stuck in gold for 5 years. I just have not been able to rank up for gold since I got up to it in Overwatch 1. I've been looking for some general tips on how I could climb and improve in the game. My aim is absolutely horrible, which is why I originally started maining Junk. I've mostly been playing with a friend who was plat when we started playing, but is GM now. Oof. So I can't play with them anymore. I want to play with them, but I couldn't improve in the game like them. Absolutely be as harsh as needed. I just need actual help. Okay, so first thing, the reason why I'm in the training range is we're going to talk about Junkrat's combo. So OP actually knows it. I'm just doing it because I actually learned it from OP. I haven't been thinking about it at all because I haven't been playing Junk or been playing that much at all. But just a note here. So originally, when 200 health, so Junkrat's attacks do 120 damage. The concussive mine also does 120 damage. So you used to be able to do one hit here and then throw the concussive mine and then pop it, and that used to be a kill. And now you can see that they actually live, which is unfortunate. So that removes Junkrat's one-shot capability. You now need to add in some extra damage, or they need to be injured, or you need to shoot again or throw another mine, which is problematic. However, there is, in fact, a combo that still works if you can get up to them. The combo is left-click, mine, right? Melee, right-click. And the thing is that you can detonate the mine while you melee. So I'm going to melee here and then right-click immediately. So you can see how it pops right away. So you can use that to one-shot somebody like so. So I'm going to kill myself. But yes, so you see that is in fact a way that you could instantly kill a 250 health hero now. Like that, right? Obviously, better execution leads to better results. I haven't practiced this like literally the first time I've done it. It was just interesting because I saw some of the comments on the post talking about it. Anyway, let's jump to the actual game. So, this is actually a pretty interesting one because OP is way better aiming than they are making it seem. On Junkrat, at least. They're actually quite good at Junkrat. I watched the whole game. I've seen it through almost twice now, skipping through and thinking about what I wanted to talk about. So I think OP's junk game is actually pretty good overall. I would say better than gold. I think their primary issue is that Junkrat is in a very weak spot right now, and it's expected to get buffed very, very soon. I think that's kind of number one. I think when developers say, "Oh, we got to buff Junkrat," that's when you know he's really bad, compared to where I think he was fine, at least in prior to the Season 9 rework. So I think that's one thing that's going against you. Number two is I think that OP eventually feels at some point that you're like, oh no, I need to switch off of Junk because it's not working, because they run fair or whatever like they do in this game. And then you switch to a hitscan, and then your hitscan aim is, and there's no other way for me to say this, terrible. OP was saying that it was 10% in the chat, in the Reddit comments. I was like, there's no way it's 10%, right? And I looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I think 10% might actually be generous. So I think that's a problem. So I think that you kind of at a crossroads, right? If you really love playing Junk and you want to keep playing Junk, then just one-trick Junk, right? And again, people have one-trick Junked all the way to GM and top 500. You could be one of those people. So I would probably stick with Junkrat. Or, alternatively, you can be like, you know what? I'm going to invest the time and effort to get good at other heroes and play them. So I don't think there is a mechanical reason why you could not get good at hitscan. It might be a mental barrier. You might be like, oh, my aim is bad, so I can't play in them. Because when I watch, I think you're generally on the right track. Again, if you can hit shots in Junkrat, then you have the ability to put a crosshair on a target. It may not necessarily be on where they are. It could be where they're going. But you can move a mouse to the right spot and click a button. And if you can do that, that is all aiming is being able to do that very consistently. So when I watch you play Soldier, your Soldier play is filled with panic, right? Every moment of it is what are you doing? Levels of panic. And I think that if you invested the time into playing Soldier or whatever hit scan, I think you'd get a lot better at it. That's my read here. In fact, let's actually start with the Soldier gameplay, and we're going to talk through why does your Soldier gameplay go so poorly. So we'll open this and then we'll go back to the Junkrat stuff. So we're coming out here. All right. So Pharah's here. You're aiming the Mercy. I think this is okay, right? You're backing up because you're worried about the Pharah. I think this aim is fine. Yeah, you hit her with the Helix, right? Because you're good at flicks because you play Junkrat. So she's low, so just run away. I can't take this fight anymore. I don't think trying to stay alive here makes sense. Or trying to stay in that room makes sense, right? Obviously, there's 3 heroes there and, you're super low. But let's watch the aim right now, okay? So Pharah's going to come out. So actually, before we even watch the aim, let's watch when you're shooting. There is nobody here. There's literally nobody on your screen. And I think this might be a tendency from playing Junkrat, is that you shoot even before you see them because you're like, oh, maybe the shots will hit. There's nobody visible right now. What are you shooting at? Right? 5, 6, 7, 8. There's no, again, in the replay, we can see people through walls. You fired 8 out of 30 rounds, and there's literally nobody up there that you can see. Right? And now you're just shooting at the wall. Like, this is not, like, maybe this is aimed at the Zarya, but it doesn't feel that way. This feels like a lot more of a firing discipline problem than it does an aim problem. Again, you are at 15 out of 30 ammo right now, and you have not fired what I would consider a single bullet at an enemy. Like, forget how bad your aim is. You literally have not, like, if you had visor active, you still wouldn't have hit anybody because it's not an aim issue. You're shooting when there's nobody visible. Again, the Pharah is, like, not even visible right now. Now she's finally visible. This is the first moment where you actually get to aim, all right? And now, okay, your aim is off, right? Okay, great. So, I mean, not great, but, like, obviously you missed shots when she's finally visible. But I've noticed that you've missed, what, 25 out of 30? This handwriting's terrible. Like 25 out of 30 shots when there was no enemy visible on the screen, that even visor would not save you. That tells me that I think you are severely undervaluing how much your aim is a problem. Because again, you can hit shots in Junkrat. We're going to see a bunch of really good ones that you land. You can definitely aim, you just can't aim with Soldier, and it could be a mental barrier. You might just think, oh, like, I'm just really bad at Soldier or hitscan. I don't believe in myself. I don't think that's a reason for it, right? Like, I think that's legitimately not, I mean, you can have whatever blocks you have in your brain, but I'm just noting from my perspective as a coach, I don't see a mechanical reason here why your aim couldn't dramatically improve. The first thing comes down to firing discipline, which is if there is not a visible target, don't be shooting, and that would give you a lot of extra aim to a lot of extra bullets here to be firing. The other thing I would note right now is, so, like, there are general difficulty levels of hitting targets. Okay? For example, hitting the Zarya right now, relatively easy. She's a medium-sized target, and she is in the open. Hitting the Pharah is hard because only half of her body is visible, and it's above you, which is generally harder. People struggle to hit targets above them and below them because it's an unusual angle. Versus a person-sized target, which goes left and right, that's typically a lot easier for people to hit. Or certainly backwards, forwards. Like if it's coming at you, like towards you, then it's even easier. So missing these shots is not like a game breaker, right? I would not be thinking, oh yeah, like, I should be able to hitting a lot of shots here. It's not that big a deal. I think as long as you're hitting the Zarya here consistently, you'd be okay. But up here, I would not worry about it so much. So, back to fire discipline. So the Zarya's pop bubble here. She's clearly not going to die here. Like, even if you pop the bubble, it's not going to change anything. I don't think shooting the bubble is going to change anything about your reset die here as well. So, like, this is all extra shots that you're putting in for no reason. But, like, again, you notice we're landing shots, right? You miss one shot because you're going for the helix flick. I understand. I don't think it's a good helix. But, like, if we look at it from an aim perspective, it's not strictly an issue. Back to firing discipline, okay? The Pharah is visible. You get the crosshair on target. Great. You hit, double headshot. Right? This shot missed. Okay, fine. That shot missed. Fine. Okay, now she's out of view, right? We keep shooting. 3, 4, 5. 5 more shots go off where she's not visible. Again, this is a firing trigger discipline problem, right? You are hitting the button when there is not a visible enemy on your screen or anywhere close to your crosshair. This is a really common problem that I see in like bronze through like low gold, where players will shoot the button because they just, I don't know if it's like mental overload or it's panic or whatever, but they will hit the trigger when there is no one actually visible and possible to be like hit. It's not an aim problem, it's a firing discipline problem. So back to here. Again, we're shooting, like, if you're missing this, it's actually not that big a deal because, again, like, this is a super hard angle. But, again, nobody actually visible here. The Sombra's there. You lock in the Sombra. Yeah, see? Like, you're able to get a crosshair on target, right? Like, you cannot convince me that you cannot put your crosshair on the target. We just saw you hit 2 shots on the Sombra as she's falling, right? Is it great aim? It's not great aim, but it's not, like, playable. Like, you can build on this and get a lot better from here. But I think that's the overall. Again, no reason to be shooting the Zarya right now. I also, Soldier, I think that your game sense in Soldier is also just way worse, right? You feel like somebody who's like, oh, I have 500 hours in Junkrat, and I have like 20 hours in Soldier, and they're all pretty much me throwing because I don't feel comfortable in Soldier, right? Like, it's going to take time to invest, because right now you shouldn't be playing main with your team, right? You need to find an off angle. You could have, for example, gone all the way up here, right? Gone to the left, gone up, what the heck is the actual stair path? You could have already gone here, gone up the stairs, right? Gone up this way. All alternative would have been gone to the right? Take this stair up. Whichever, I think that would have been your priority versus just playing main. Because right now in main, especially with your tank responding, you can't really do anything. Now you're pushed back, you have no good angle, right? Again, if you were up top, you could have forced the Pharah out and then apply pressure to the enemy team. I think that there's not a lot you can do from here to win this fight, right? The other thing I would encourage you, because of the way that Soldier's recoil works, is to reset the recoil time, because sometimes you lose control of the recoil and then you have no ability to lose control of your aim. But again, firing discipline problems, okay? We're hitting here. It's not like great, but it's okay. Like, this is bearable. Like, honestly, this does not look like much worse than gold. But notice how many more shots you're firing right now? Right? So, let's wait. When is the fair out of view? Right now, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or that's Felix, okay? So 8, that was bad Helix as well. So 9, 10, okay, so now we're back on target, right? But 8 shots went across that you just don't have right now, but those 8 bullets are enough to kill the Pharah, right? 8 bullets here is more than enough to kill the Pharah right now if you had ammo, but you don't have ammo because you waste it all continually firing when there are no visible targets. Right? Watch for here, okay? You're going to snap to the left because the Ana is obviously super out of position. This is when you really wish you had Helix, right? But she's even behind the cart, so nobody visible, right? We're shooting here. This is not an aim problem. These are not aim problems. These are firing discipline problems, right? There is no target anywhere close to this. You're not trying to hit someone you're missing. You are holding down the trigger and spinning. That's the problem, right? That is like the absolute #1 problem here in terms of like why you can't land shots. So, in general, this goes back to like, wait, watch right here, okay? So you're gonna go back for the Ana, right? So, you know, we're high here because you're jumping. That's one of the reasons. There is nobody over here. Like, you need to look at your crosshair and be like, look, is there actually a target here? If not, stop shooting, right? Again, Pharah's high. You have 10 ammo right now. Why am I shooting? There are no targets here. The Pharah is literally not visible on your screen. Back to, I know this is repetitive, but I need this to sink in. This is not an aim issue, right? You're just shooting to shoot. You're just holding down the trigger regardless of whether or not there's actually a target there that you could possibly hit, right? When you actually are aiming at somebody, your aim is okay. And I think it get a lot better from here. So from here, I think Visor here is bad because they already capped, so the value of Visor here is really, really low. Even if you wipe everybody, they're going to respawn 10 seconds later right here. This is not a situation where you want to be puffing Visor. But I think pushing in there is crazy. I think now you just feel like you have to double down on a bad Visor, and like nothing happens to the Visor. There's bad cover. There's not really like a lot of point in me like covering further here around the Soldier play because you don't look like you're comfortable on Soldier, right? So I would point you to, I made a Soldier guide relatively recently. I think you should look at that, right? As in terms of like the general playstyle Soldier, because again, I feel like, if I had to guess, I feel like when you switch to Soldier, you mentally give up on the game while you're playing Soldier, right? Then you might switch back to Junkrat and then things go better. But I feel like when you play Soldier, your expectations of yourself are so low that you're like not even trying, you're just like autopiloting into the opposing team and hoping something happens. Okay? This is not the way that Soldier is played. Soldier is played on the off angle, constantly applying consistent pressure. Good aim, bad aim, whatever, that's still the goal. Play on an off angle there, right? There's no reason to be trying to force your way down main in a bad fight, popping Visor when they've already capped the point, right? Like, there's no amount of like mechanics here that's going to change anything about this. You just don't look comfortable enough on Soldier. So I'd suggest, if you haven't seen any educational content on Soldier, start there, right? If you're like, look, I want to be able to play Junkrat and Soldier, start with, this is how I play Soldier, okay? And then try to emulate that play and then see how it goes. And then practice, right? Again, aiming, hitscan aiming, because I really, truly do not think your aim is that bad, because we're going to see a lot of really good shots out of Junkrat. Okay, so I've changed my mind about how I'm going to do this. I'm going to pause this video right now and then upload this just on the Soldier section, and then we're going to go back and we're going to do a separate video for the Junkrat.